What is up, guys? Welcome to a video. It's been a few weeks before I've been able to sit down and actually record any gameplay and audio, especially with the season mod now. Looking at this, here's another Ferrari. However, it's the final version of the Ferrari. So we've got the matte finish on the car, the black halo, the black mission winner and stuff like that. Now, this specific video, if you didn't guess by the thumbnail, we finally made it. We actually got the #1 spot for most downloaded mod on F1 2018. Now, I set myself the target of getting that probably before I even conceived the idea of making this, most likely for the reason of the 2017 most downloaded mod was the 2018 season mod. So, back-to-back years we've had this title, if you want to call it that, to a certain degree. I don't get like a little plaque or anything like that. It's just something that kind of shows that the work that I do is obviously enjoyed by quite a lot of people. At the moment of recording this, we're not actually the #1 spot, but we aren't far off it. We're, I think, about 300 off, give or take, and considering how many people have taken to liking it since I've launched it, then I reckon within a few days, once a few more updates come out, then we'll absolutely smash the top spot, which is quite nice because we'll have the first and the third spot. The third spot being the helmet template back when the game came out, but the #1 spot, it's been taken up by Alex by quite a bit. He made the ARG HUD, which is essentially what the real life HUD is with the speedometer down the side. Fantastic mod. I helped him with a few little textures and all that, but overall I didn't really do an awful lot for that mod. But this one, obviously, this is the all important one for me. This is the one that I make every year for the past few years now. In an ideal world, every single one of them would have been the most downloaded, but Cross back on 2014 obviously made his, and his didn't get taken down for a very long time, so his downloads just piled up and piled up and piled up. And obviously being on the same game, it obviously helps you just update, you don't change it, and the downloads just rack up, and so you get to where that is now. But I haven't seen him in a very long time. I don't believe he does mods for these games anymore, which is quite a sad thing because he was a fantastic creator and also a good little partner. Me and him worked on quite a few things together, so that's quite sad to see. But obviously, to get to where we are now with a season mod basically not finished per se, but it's not far off it, mainly because the season hasn't even started yet. We're about just over a month, under a month away now from the season actually starting. It's the 25th now currently, if that's any way to gauge how early I'm actually recording this. But final few things need to be tweaked. The performance isn't too bad. The performance is testing performance of week 1. I believe week 2 it'll be underway by the time this video comes out, at least anyway. But that was really unlike we just passed the pit lane with the safety cars, and if you've been paying attention to the gameplay, some cars have been stuck in the pits quite a bit, which is quite odd. It's very peculiar. We'll have a look at that at the end of the video and see what's actually going on with that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. There's no way to know for sure if people are going to like it or people are not. It's very similar with the video, for example. The gameplay of the Ferrari that I put up, got to be about 2 months ago by now, it's already smashed over 100,000, which is, for an F1 video, that's pretty nuts. And for me, I only had one video that was over 100k. That was the first video I've uploaded to this channel back in 2009. So, you know, it's very hit and miss whether people will accept it very well and stuff like that. Obviously, I got the people saying, you know, Williams chassis this, Williams chassis that. I actually just put up a poll on my Twitter about the alternate to this Williams chassis car, and one of the person who's very critical of the mod, to say the least, even he said that the second one doesn't even look like the livery, which is just bound down to the fact that this is the only chassis that can have that. I've done the same with a few cars, the McLaren and the Force Force India, Racing Point, Jesus Christ. Those two have also been changed to the Williams chassis, just on the pure perspective of they don't look right otherwise. Like Racing Point, you probably get away with. McLaren, again, you could probably get away with. But it's just that little bit more detail on the chassis, on the livery, and just all in all, I know the steering wheels aren't exactly the nicest thing to look at. You know, it's pretty hideous, but I don't particularly spend my entire race looking at the steering wheel and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. I know some people use cockpit view do, which is one of their main gripes, but anything else with the season mod, we have the qualifying bug. Now, me and Kine have, on a small scale, we've got it working to a certain degree. I've been able to do full qualifying in 2 races now. Only doing it with the Williams Ferrari chassis. The other ones, when I'm not sure, I haven't tested it. A few people have come back and saying, listen dude, it's still not working. What can I do? Now, ultimately it's going to come down to whether it does work or it doesn't work. There's no in between, there's no way to tweak it. It's just, if it's going to work, it will work. And we can't actually dictate whether that's going to work or not. So, all in all, if we can get it working, fantastic. If not, then, you know, back to short qualifying. It's really not the end of the world, I don't think. Especially seeing as it's so messed up anyway. But currently, the current state of the season, what I think is pretty good. Where it is at the moment is really good. Obviously, a few things need changing. Currently, the update for the UI should be coming out very soon. Like the final few bits, because we don't know 100%. By the time this goes out, Racing Point would have been done, and Alfa Romeo would have been done, and everything like that would have been fixed up to the percentage. The cars would have been fixed, the side cars, etc., etc., etc. Obviously, as we go into the season, more things will be tweaked, like suits, race wear, team wear, all that kind of stuff. It does take time. In terms of tracks, I actually got someone comment on the video, one of my videos, about him letting him do the tracks, which is, I thought that was quite funny. But I haven't seen any mods from him yet, so he's gonna have to pull his finger out before I get stuck into the tracks. But it's just one of those things that this race has flown by. It's not gonna lie, it's probably one of the funnest races I've had in a while. I think just now everything's more or less coming together. All the helmets are starting to get done by the very talented people who do the helmets. So without them, I won't be able to do these season mods as well. And obviously with Kine and JB, obviously they help out with deliveries as well. I outsource some of them just because with everything going on, I don't have a lot of time. Back and extra that, but it's just because I haven't finished talking. I need something to fill the time with. Without them, I won't be able to do it. Obviously, with the helmets, we got Nesty, who's kindly DM'd me, was like, you can use some of my helmets, bud. No stress with that. It saves you some hassle. Obviously, Dim's very good. One of the best ones as far as I'm concerned. The Kimi Räikkönen helmet that just came out was actually made by Talisman, which is, me and him have had a few run-ins in the past over certain mods, especially in the 2014 game, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's not just, this is my mod, you know, I have rights to it and everything. It's, part of it is a culmination of some other people, like some of the best people who do make the mods as well. So without them, obviously I couldn't make these, couldn't even begin to start. I'd be a lot further behind than I normally would. So it's just one of those things that when it comes around, the entire community kind of gravitates towards it in a sense. You know, you've got your Ben, you've got Arav, obviously doing their videos, you've got Tom, Joe, all of them kind of, whether it be one video or they use it consecutively or something like that, it always gets there, and it's always up there, and stuff like that. But it's one of those things, like this year, that I've actually been quite fortunate. I've had a few of the esports Formula 1 drivers come to me and be like, dude, this mod's amazing, etc., etc., which for me, actually like another step. It's just like, wow, people who play this game professionally, in a sense, is actually enjoying it as well, which is obviously nice for me. But obviously for you guys, I know it's not perfect. Unfortunately, I would make it perfect if I could. but obviously we do have limitations with what I can do and what the rest of the community can do. But we just literally do as best as we can. It's just one of those things. Maybe next year we better, touch wood, but with everything that's going on at the moment, it's going to be a very difficult game next year to figure it out. Speaking of which, I saw on an AOR league race that this kind of thing happened in the league race. The pit stops just failed, and similar thing here. Like the pit stop just stopped working. I'm not exactly sure why, but he just pulled in, and I wasn't exactly sure why, to be honest with you. It was quite curious. It's nothing to do with the season mod. Just before this 1.16 came out. So I've got a feeling that's going to be something to do with it, which is obviously going to get on a lot of people's nerves. But the same thing happened with Ricciardo. He just pulls down the pit lane, and then there's no team. It happens also with the McLaren and the Sauber. It's very weird. I really don't understand what actually is happening with it. But it's very, very peculiar. Very peculiar. But anyway, that's been it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for making this the most downloaded mod. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye bye.